Predicting and solidifying future outcomes for processes is one of the most important parts of effective time management and a proficient lifestyle. This lesson looks at ways to improve your sense of anticipation and the strategies that can be employed to ascertain the progression of a task. Let's start with identifying how well you anticipate. Some individuals exhibit defining behaviours and habits that are characteristic of foresight and show a heightened sense of preparation. This would include actions such as making photocopies or digital copies of all documents, confirming appointments and meeting details, keeping a pad and pencil beside phones and PCs, storing maps in cars, keeping instruction manuals for items, servicing equipment regularly, organising resources and cover for all eventualities, carrying a smartphone with you at all times, owning spare batteries and light bulbs to replace dead ones instantly, promoting emergency procedures if there is a power cut or dangerous situation, taking research or reading material when travelling. If you show signs of these practices, you're likely to be fully prepared for mitigating problems before they even make an impact. Adhering to just 4 or fewer of these habits indicates that you may not be forward thinking enough in your daily routines. This can potentially lead to unwanted stress when the unexpected occurs and unnecessary additional activities are required. Now, let's shed some light on the parking meter syndrome. Consider this hypothetical situation. You're in your car driving through the town centre, travelling to pick up a new smartphone from your local stockist. Parking is always complicated in this area, but you're pretty sure you can pick up your device within 30 minutes. With this in mind, a car leaves a parking space just ahead of you, and you quickly pull in. The space is metered and needs a cash payment. You think you only need to be parked for 30 minutes, so you feed the meter with £3 to cover the time, although £5 would assure you 60 minutes of parking. You enter the smartphone shop, but there's an unexpectedly large queue and only one sales assistant present. You feel stressed and annoyed and have a parking space with only 30 minutes allotted. After 20 minutes of queuing, the sales assistant spends 5 minutes searching for the pre-booked phone. You wait for the credit card to clear and the receipt to print. You return to your car 33 minutes after parking and find a parking ticket for £80. For the sake of saving £2, you've actually lost £80 and gained stress and worry, all due to a lack of foresight. Of course, this syndrome doesn't just apply to paying traffic fines. The parking meter syndrome demonstrates an important element of time management. With a lack of anticipation and too much assumption, the most meticulous planned schedules can be seriously disrupted by unforeseen events and complications. Human nature will often make us lay blame for these disruptions on someone else and curse their actions for causing them in the first place. This can make for a toxic and unhealthy environment when the situation is genuinely just a random set of unexpected circumstances. There's only one way to defeat this self-deception. Accept your responsibility, assume things always take longer than expected, and act accordingly. You may even have to trick yourself into behaviour change. Set your watch a few minutes fast, for example, or write the deadline as a few days earlier on your calendar. Since reacting to time cues is often automatic, you'll act as if these false times are real. Does this mean that you'll start showing up early to most appointments or finishing things prematurely? Possibly, but handing over a project to a client or to a boss early is an almost sure way to impress. And an early arrival will give you time to prepare, relax, or work on mini tasks or readings. There's another strategy that can help, known as the false deadline strategy. Now you've identified potential problems in what you do. But how do you manage someone else's behaviour? How can you boost the foresight ability of those you supervise, your colleagues, your friends, and your family members? Give false times and deadlines to people, but don't tell them what you're doing. If they end up needing more time, you can magnanimously award it to them. If they're on time, all the better. One other hint: saying, "I need this in an hour," or "in a few days," may prove to be too inexact. Strangely, an hour or a few days can be interpreted as 3 hours or a week. Better to say, "I need this by 5 p.m. or "this must be completed by Friday noon." Now comes the pack rat approach. Don't you hate it when you run out of stationery, can't find a bubble mailer envelope when you need it, or have to use the last one that's all sticky with dust and who knows what else? So, you set forth begrudgingly for the local stationery store, the one you visited 3 times already this week because you ran out of other things. If people were a little more like pack rats, they could avoid plenty of frustration. It would be best if you had, at this moment, both at home and work, extras of almost everything you regularly use and need. An effective way of managing supplies is to keep a running inventory list. Buy at least 2 of anything you're replacing. 3 would be even better, and restock several items at a time, rather than waiting to run out of items before replacing them. And here we are at the end of the course. Hope you've enjoyed your time with us and learned a lot of stuff about time management. If you can implement those into your daily life, we believe it will go a long way. Manage your time efficiently and enjoy life.